Okay, well, this pretty much settles it. We gotta have more $1 hot dog nights! What's up, everybody? Team Fanatic here. Hope you all are having a fantastic day and welcome to another post-game reaction. In this one, I'm continuing my coverage of my boys' goal, Nashville SC. And oh, baby, does it feel so good to be a member of the boys at goal, to be a fan of this team, because we witnessed another dub. Nashville SC beat Sea of Montreal. We win 1-0. For Nashville, we extend our unstoppable, undeniable, unbeatable, unbeaten streak to 10 straight matches. 10 straight matches. We have gone unbeaten. And once again, similar to the Atlanta match, I'll be honest, we really had to grind this one out, grind this win out. Lots to get into here, so let's go ahead and dive right in. So, for the first half, I wanted us to have a hot start. I'm not going to lie. Looking back at the Atlanta match, I'm so happy that we got the dub, but, I don't want to sound nitpicky when I say this. When I look at that Atlanta match, for that first half, it did seem like we were struggling a little bit in terms of establishing our pace and creating opportunity. But I'll give my boys the benefit of the doubt because, it was our first match back in like 3 weeks. Here in this first half, I think definitely Nashville, we look to play long early, spread the pitch out. Force Montreal to play our game. And initially it did work. Guys like Mohabit and Whale, they had some nice scoring opportunities in the opening 10 minutes. But both those guys, both their shots, they sailed the ball way above the goal. Which that would unfortunately be a common theme throughout this first half, is our guys having these golden opportunities like right in the box, right in front of the goal, and they just fire it, put a little bit too much mustard on it. They fire it way above the post. What I was thinking to myself, being the glass half full kind of guy, was like, okay, we are having some opportunities. We just can't capitalize on them. I was hoping that, we would do things like maybe try to get a cross in there, float a ball into the box, and then have Surridge, for example, just head that ball in there. But what I will say for Montreal, and I will give them credit here, is that they really made it tough for us to play through the central area. So I think Nashville, we kind of had to adapt on the fly here and play a little bit more wide than perhaps what we're used to. Our first corner came in like the 41st minute, so that should say right there. But overall, for the first half, it was a pretty good start for us. We had 6 shots. Even though none were on target, you could feel it. You could feel Nashville. We were starting to establish our game more and more as the match progressed, which, going back to the Atlanta match, that's something that we did see. Even though Atlanta, they had this nice game plan to start in that first half, in the second half, that's where we really started to turn it up. And it looked like deja vu right here. In the second half to start, it definitely looked like, absolutely, it looked like Nashville were playing with a much faster pace, and we were having more and more chances in the box. 60 minutes into this thing, we are outshooting Montreal 8-1. 8-1. We're knocking on that door. And finally, that scoring door opens up for us to walk right on in. Not my best metaphor, but you get the idea. 68th minute, Surridge and Stray, they collide. Sam Surridge goes down, and the ref immediately points to the spot and awards Sam Surridge with a penalty shot. And we all know how that was going to turn out, baby. Sam Surridge, no fear, no intimidation at all, takes that penalty and he scores to finally break the 0-0 tie. For Sam Surridge, this was his 10th goal of the season. Hopefully we'll see more of that. Hopefully that stat increases as we progress further into the campaign. All right, now, as a sports YouTuber, I do have to talk about everything that happened. And this right here, by far, was the most critical moment of the match. When Straight, he was penalized, resulting in a goal by Sam Surridge, which would eventually be the game winner. Now, perhaps there are some fans out there that would argue that this penalty by Straight should not have happened. And I will acknowledge that I do understand a little bit where those fans are coming from, because if you do look at the replay, Sam Surridge, he was coming in with speed. Like, no doubt about that. Surridge, he was flying to that ball, and I do give him credit for that. And I do see slightly where some fans are coming from that say that straight putting his hand on Surridge didn't really have much of an effect of Sam falling down. As a Nashville SC fan, what I would counter respectfully to those fans is, if the referees let Straight get away with that, what message does that send to the rest of Montreal's team? I mean, think about it. If it looked like Straight absolutely shoved Sam Surridge to the ground and the refs do not call it, do not award the penalty, what message does that send to Montreal? What I believe that the message is that, you know what? We can do whatever that we want because the refs are not going to call it. Honestly, that's just how I feel. And I do understand that, this is sports. Some calls are going to go your way. Others, not so much. And I'm hoping that this doesn't come back to bite me or Nashville in the future. I mean, heaven forbid, someone put their pinky on Messi, he's going to be awarded 10 penalty kicks. And look, Montreal, don't be so salty about it. I mean, y'all had 20 more minutes to level the match. You even had 7 minutes of stoppage time to level the match. And y'all still couldn't do it. So, that's on you. So there it is. Montreal fans, take the loss, go home, get over it. Your hockey team is better than your soccer team. Deal with it. And our soccer team is way better than yours. For Nashville SC, once again, unbeaten for the 10th straight match this season. Our 5th win in a row. Now our longest streak in club history. We extend our point total this season to 39. 5 more points than Messi and Miami. And for Schwacke, I want to give him some props as well, because for a guy that really didn't have to do much in this game, he was clutch. He had some amazing saves, including this one in the 74th minute, where the ball is coming right for him, and he just puts his glove way up there to get just enough of the deflection to deflect that ball out of play. To close, I'll say this. For Montreal, similar to Atlanta, they had a solid game plan. I mean, they really did. For that first half, they really didn't let us get anything through the middle. We had to play wide. And after we scored the goal, Montreal, they really pressed. I mean, they did have some nice opportunities their way as well. But I think what we're seeing here is that we're seeing our opponents, and I'm talking about Montreal and Atlanta, because this is now the second time that this kind of thing has happened, I feel like, where our opponents would have a solid game plan, and somewhat they would execute it in the first half. But then in the second half, as the physicality of the game continues to progress, the physical toll that takes place on our opponents, all the running, all the challenges, all the just pushing and shoving, all that stuff, it took a toll. And for Montreal and their players, it took a toll on them. You could see it. Nashville, we got stronger as the match progressed. And yes, even though, while some would argue that Surridge penalty, it should not have happened, you know what? We still got the win. A dub is a dub. And we're showing no signs of slowing down. Maybe this is just who we are right now for Nashville. Are we the flashiest team? No. But you know what? We're winning. We're winning matches. And you know what? We're doing it our way. We don't have to have all of the big time highlight reels on Sports Center. We don't have to have all that in order to win. We can win our way. And our way is, you know what? Maybe sometimes having to grind out a match a little bit. And you know what? I love that. I love that for this Boys and Gold Club right here. Because it's proven. And it works. And you know what? Let's keep on doing it. Next up, we got Orlando on Saturday. So we'll see what happens there. But fans, that's going to do it for this post-game reaction. Thank you all so much for watching. If you all enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and you can join our Fanatic Army. And hearty salutes to all of you as always. And I hope that all of you have a fantastic day. Go, boys, and go!